Hey everyone, it's Saturday, September 30th, 2017, and it's time to go to work on music. It's been a great day so far. I'm in a really good place and excited for a productive session. Definitely feeling a little fatigued, or just, I don't know, just feeling extra chill today. I've been taking full days off on Fridays, which has been awesome and a lot of fun, and just really good for my life and psychological health in general, I think. But it definitely can make it a little tougher to get back in the groove on Saturdays. So I'm playing around with how that's going to work. If you guys have any tips, let me know. Gonna hit some online classes here. Update you guys with what I'm doing there. I'm going to hit a quick guitar practice, share some updates, and then get it on the production front. I may hit the solo depending on how I'm feeling. I think probably what I'm going to do today is just try to make some headway on the drum sound front, get my drum sample library hooked up to my new MIDI setup and start playing around with that and start getting some sounds that hopefully will fit this track really well. So appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Let's get right into it. All right, excellent session there. Got it on the online class front. Got some more YouTube strategy just about best practices for posting, and most successful YouTubers will tell you how important the thumbnail is. And Canva, canva.com, is a really great tool for making thumbnails because not only do they give you the exact resolution and dimensions you need, but it's also really easy to put text on things and put borders behind that text to really make the text pop. And that's all really, really valuable for getting people to click on your video. Um, then I moved on to a quick guitar practice, just working on my drop D riff from the Musicism online class. I actually went back and watched and listened to Rabia playing the riff, and I mean, it sounds killer the way he plays it, but it's not perfect. It's not perfectly clean. Like, he's not hitting every string every single time exactly the same way. And I don't know if that's what gives the riff its character, but that definitely made me feel less bad about not being able to get it super clean myself, because that dude is real good at guitar. So, um, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of in line with what I was talking about in the previous video, of just like sometimes perfection in the music and art world is not perfection in the way that we think of as like being perfectly on the grid and hitting every note with no noise behind the note or anything. Sometimes it's that magic that comes from the imperfections in the playing, and I've thought a lot about this, and many times I've just thought to myself, like, isn't being a musician really just about your taste, just like controlling that, like if you can make a mistake but then make it sound good and make it fit, isn't that really what being a live musician, a player, is really about? It's like being able to take the moment at hand and create something beautiful regardless of whether it's technically perfect or not, right? It's like not all beauty is technically perfect, like whatever that means, right? So just something to meditate on a little bit. And then I took a break, did some reading from the Recording Secrets from the Small Studio book, and the main takeaway from that for the day is just just making sure that you're giving it your all on your guide vocals, or you're having the vocalist give a lot of emotion on the guide vocals, because that's really going to push the other players in the session to give great performances. And you might be surprised how many of those guide vocals make it into the finished record. Like, sometimes 50% or more of just scratch vocals end up being the main vocal, because it's hard to recreate that no pressure atmosphere where you can just let loose and do your thing. When you're like, okay, now the pressure's on, now this is the final take, you know, you better nail it, it better be perfect, you know, better sell 1 million copies or something like that. That's such a different state of mind, and different people are going to thrive in different environments. So it's a little bit of the studio psychology bit right there. I thought that was interesting, and there's nothing to lose from going hard on the initial guide vocal takes anyway. But you do want to make sure you get the vocals into the track early, because that's going to affect the sonics of everything else. And some people wait too long to put the vocal in, and it doesn't, you know, doesn't fit. So I did that, and then I just realized like I really just wanted to knock out this solo. I felt like today is a day where I just am feeling that, and I'm going to capitalize on that motivation and just do it. I really wasn't feeling setting up the drums. I think tomorrow will be a better day to do that. Start to play around with that a little bit, or maybe listen back to these solo takes next couple days. So I got in and I got some really good takes. I guess I'm a little embarrassed to talk about this because it's such a like personal and potentially weird thing, but the main thing I was focusing on, as you know, the real thing I'm trying to get with this solo is like, let me get all that raw emotion and the technical precision at the same time. And I kept trying different ways of making that happen, and I realized like when I was counting it, I needed to count it in a really like intense and emotional way, like not just like 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E. You know, that's gonna translate. It had to be like 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E. And, you know, give it some attitude, give it some sauce, some passion, you know, some spice, and it worked. It really worked. You know, I got some really good takes. I'll listen back to them. I mean, if anything, some of them were more on the technically precise side, some of them were more on the looser side, and I just hope that one of them struck that balance really perfectly. And if not, you know, I'll just keep rolling on it. I've just accepted. I think this is part of me maturing as an artist right now, and growing into this new phase of my development of doing more studio style production. Is just being willing to just work on something until it's done. You know, great coach of mine used to say, you don't quit when you're tired, you quit when you're done. And I think there's a limit to that, obviously, when you're training or when you're playing music. But as far as the long haul goes, you know, I'm just gonna keep working on it till it's finished, and till it's really, really the way I want it to be. So takes a lot. Takes a lot to stay in the game. You know, if you're getting discouraged, if you're out there losing faith, you know, that happens. I mean, man, I get discouraged. I lose faith. And it's really hard, you know. It's the best thing you can do is just not think about it too much. Don't dwell on it. Just realize that's part of the process. Some days you're going to be up, some days you're going to be down, and you got to just show up. Treat it like a job. That's my advice. Treat your music making, your creative pursuits like a job. When you're not feeling good, you go to work anyway. You know, you show up, you do the best you can on that day, and then you leave and you get paid, and then you show up the next day and you put the smile on and you make it happen, you know. And I really have taken that approach to music making recently, and it really helps. I mean, it really, really helps. Now, some of you are like, oh, but, you know, I don't want to take my passion and turn it into a job. Well, there's your answer. Don't do that, you know, and see what kind of results you get. You know, if you can get those results a different way, like, I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. I'm just saying that I would strongly recommend treating it that way if you're struggling with the types of stuff that I'm talking about struggling with. So it's just one way. It's just one path. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys are out there grinding towards your goals, enjoying the process as much as possible. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for more. Till then. You know, one more thing I wanted to share that I was thinking about here that just kind of crossed my mind is, yeah, I was thinking about, I Googled, or I searched on YouTube, like, how to get great guitar solo takes. I was just feeling stuck at the beginning of the session. I was like, oh, maybe someone made a video out there that can help me. And there really wasn't anything that good, but I was watching this video on like how long will it take to become a great guitar player, and how that's a terrible question to ask, and I was like, yeah, that's like not the right question. You know, what is the right question? And it just got me thinking, like, really the right question is, how can I enjoy playing guitar as much as humanly possible? And that's really what we all want. You know, the reason you want to be good, the reason you want to play fluidly, is so you can enjoy your life more, you know. So if that means putting in some hard hours, and that gets you excited and you're enjoying that like difficulty of the challenge, you know what I mean? Some people really savor that, and I would definitely put myself in that category at times. And like the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, there's something, you know, blissful about the whole experience, right? Whereas other people are like, man, I just want to have a good time. I just want to play some chords, and I just want it to sound good or whatever. And I would just encourage you guys to think about what is the optimal way of enjoying playing guitar look like for you, and what is the optimal and most enjoyable process for getting there. And it just really turned my whole thing around, because I was just thinking about the whole job and work thing that I was just talking about. Like, man, this is kind of getting me down. Is this what I want? And I was like, let me just have fun with this. Let me have fun playing around, trying new things, exploring my limits, pushing boundaries, getting better. If you're not enjoying it, like, what is the point, man? What is the point? So anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. Just wanted to add that in there so I didn't forget myself, honestly. And I'll see you guys soon.